What's up, guys? As promised, I gave a Q&A on my Instagram story, and if I counted correctly, 101 questions were asked. So I'm going to enjoy answering all these questions. I'm going to make it kind of like as uncut as possible. I haven't even read through all of them. I just kind of scrolled through it because I wanted to see how many, and I'm very grateful to all of you people who submitted something. But yeah, this is kind of, you know, like a little peep into my training regime, because I think I train in quite a unique way. If you don't know who I am, I'm Daniel, I'm 16 years old. I'm at about an 87.5 kilo paused pull-up right now. I'm going for the 90 kilo lock next week, which you will know because I've been always on about it if you're following me. I've attempted 90 kilos 3 times so far and failed it all 3 times. You might think this is suboptimal, but you know, we can get into that later. But I have faith that I'll be able to get it next Thursday, but you know, I'll have to optimize everything. And also next week, I'm finally releasing my advanced pull-up protocol along with my community. So this video is kind of a, you know, a free trial look into that. You guys gave me your questions. I'm going to answer them as best as I can in as much detail. But there you'll get the full picture of how to train intuitively and absolutely skyrocket your pull-up training at an advanced level. Like, you won't even believe it. But there's a little caveat. I say next week, ideally Thursday or Sunday. Obviously, I'm going to prioritize the quality of the protocol and the community and creating everything, making it perfectly with all the information, really thinking about what I'm telling people. Because I'm not going to tell beginners how to get to 20 pull-ups. I'm not going to talk about dips because I don't know enough about that. I'm only going to really talk about what I really know. And there's still quite a lot of it, you know, the lock training, the programming, how intuitive training, how to do it, why, etc. But you know, I have no clue how long this is going to take. I've started making it. I think I could finish it by then, but you know, if it comes out in 2-3 weeks, I'm sure you'll forgive me because I have your best interest at heart. I'll try and make the quality best at first. But you have that to look forward to in the coming weeks. So without further ado, let's finally get to these questions. First question, what's your diet like? Ooh, very generic question. But steak, chicken wings with rice. I used to have lots of chicken legs. Now I just spam the chicken wings, baby chicken wings, but like, you know, 15 of them, 18 of them, 12 of them at least, whatever you want. Yeah, rice potatoes are my favorite carbs. For snacks, I eat a lot of fruit. You know, we can talk about supplements later, but like if you take vitamin C with collagen, you just have a fruit and you have collagen, or you have your protein, whatever, better absorption. And also vitamin D and calcium, so like milk. They're little combos you can do to kind of, you know, biohack the absorption and everything. But other than that, you know, every so often I'll go to McDonald's, whatever. Eating unclean food is not the biggest deal. But if you look at my diet in the general sense, like it's relatively clean. And it's quite clean. Because, you know, if I have a sweet tooth, I just have grapes. I have an apple. I have peaches. You know, I love broccoli, that kind of stuff. But, you know, the base of everything is the protein, obviously. You need the protein for the muscle recovery, for the strength gain. But don't forget about carbs. You can't... I don't know why people got this idea that carbs are the enemy. You absolutely need your carbs, especially before your workout, you know, to refill your glycogen, replenish your glycogen. You know the meme, replenishing my glycogen, as an excuse to eat Krispy Kreme donuts, but that's not even a bad idea. But carbs are very important too. And for that, you know, pre-workout, you can have some fast digesting carbs, like some sugar. You can have donuts, you could have dates, honey. Rice cakes with bananas and honey on it is my favorite pre-workout meal. But and you know, for the normal carbs, rice and potatoes. But the meat, chicken wings, minced turkey with pasta, prawns you can have with pasta, lots of steak. Drink a liter of milk a day. It's really easy. It'll give you so many more calories, lots of protein, lots of calcium. It's very healthy. 1 to 2 liters. Some days if you just have a glass, it's okay. But milk is a really good hack for the diet. Every day looks really similar for me. You know, I have lunch meals for breakfast. Like I could have pasta with minced turkey for breakfast, or I could have hash brown with eggs and potatoes, or I could have lamb cutlets with broccoli. But the most common things for me to eat, which is I presume what you're asking, because obviously my diet varies, is the really high protein organic meat, like steak, chicken wings, as I said already. And then I can have some seafood sometimes, some minced turkey sometimes, but it's really the chicken and the steak with some reliable carbs like rice. It's honestly not that complicated. You know, yogurt is also a great snack, skyr especially I love. And as I said, the milk method. I'm not the best person to ask about diet, but my diet, it's pretty simple. I don't track anything. I eat when I'm hungry and I eat until I'm full. Organic foods. You can't really go too wrong if you're doing that. How to progressive overload? What a question. How to progressive overload? So the majority of people, you know, run some kind of program where every session, or, you know, they might have X, Y, and Z in a week, 3 sessions, and then the X section is progressing linearly, or they have the same session and they progress it by 1.25 kilos every workout. I don't potentially like that. Why did I say potentially? Personally like that. But I mean, it can work. Progressive overload, first of all, you have to be tracking what you're doing. You have to know your sets and reps. You should know your 10 rep max, your 6 rep, I can't speak! Your 6 rep max, your 3 rep max, your 1 rep max, obviously everything. And then with intuitive sessions, session to session, you judge the IRR and the fatigue based on when your last workout was, how well your rest has been, and how far into the workout you are. And then you judge your strength level, basically. And it's really easy to see whether you're progressing. You just have to think about all the conditions. If you've slept badly, you know, it was a long school day, you're training in the evening, and you do 60 kilos for 4 reps with 1 rep in reserve, the 5th set of your workout, you might be able to do 8 or 9 fresh. So you have to think about it that way. And just, I'd focus more on like bi-weekly, weekly progression. I wouldn't focus on session to session progression. You should see every 1 to 2 weeks weights are becoming lighter. I mean, you can see session to session progress, but that's more volatile. It could be just because a specific factor was better for that specific workout. You slept really well or whatever. Sleep's a bit overrated for performance. We'll go into that later if there's a question on that. But, you know, I'm just giving it as an example. I mean, it's just about adding weight, adding reps, or even if you have the same weight and same reps, making it easier, better technique. I mean, you should try and standardize the form, but of course, when you become more advanced, there are really small things you can tweak in your form, especially to do with weight control. So, yeah, it's just about tracking and adding weight and reps over time. How to do it, specifically sets and reps, you got to experiment. You got to try everything. The way I learn what I've learned and what I'm going to teach you guys in my protocol is just through brutal experimentation. I promise you, I've tried everything. I've tried everything. I've tried the most crazy. You see me jumping to the bar with 50 kilos or even high volume, like 100 weighted pull-ups, that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that's the way to go. I'm just saying I've tried even extreme things like that. So to find your way to progressive overload, everyone's going to train differently. Everyone's going to progress from different things more than other people. You've just got to experiment, track, and see I'd say 2 weeks that things are going up. What's the best variation for lockout? This is my favorite question ever. So you can start by doing all your sets dead stop locked. That's a great thing. But most people are not going to do that. So heavy locked pull-ups are great. I don't know why people have this idea that with variations you have to go light. I mean, you can have a band around your arm, no weight control, go really light, 15-30 kilos, extra high at the top, lock it, really feel it. I don't know how much that works, really feeling it. I'm not really a fan of, you know, mind-muscle connection, that kind of stuff, but I guess you can try that. I'm more a fan of like brutal, heavy, hard, main sets being lock training. I train my lock every single workout, and that's 60-70% of why it's so good. 30% might be my slow fiber muscle type genetics as well as leverages, but I think genuinely the majority, if you look at the start of my training, I did not have such a crazy lock, is because of my brutal lock training. So let's forget about reps and weight, whether you're doing high reps or low reps. Both work for lock training. I'll get into that in my protocol more. I have to think about that a lot. But best 3 lock exercises. Every set dead stop locked. 1 plus half pull up, where you do a pull up, you go down halfway and you go to the top. I'd say doing 1 plus half pull up is equivalent to doing like 1.8 normal pull ups, something like that, just under 2 pull ups. The half rep at the top is really hard because you have to slow yourself down. You're falling down and then you have to break your fall. So there's quite a lot of tension, especially on the biceps, and you feel it in your elbows. It's great for your elbows. We can talk about elbows later because I'm sure people have questions about that because it's the most common pain really with pull-ups. when you go really low down, like you do a pull up and then you stop here and you go back, that's really hard. That's really hard. But I think the best is you don't even have to go back down to 90 degrees. You can just go back down slightly and then do that. There's also another lock exercise where you do a pull up and you just pulse at the top, even quarter reps, or you can do half reps at the top, or you can just do a lock hold. But I think all of those are good, but 1 plus half is genuinely just the goat. And another thing I do is add extra height sets regularly where you're pulling higher, just pulling higher, or just pulling with full horizontal closure where you make sure I'm going all the way over the bar. Even if you don't pause it, is also great for your lock training. But if you want something really, really specific for the lock, pausing extra high, either you put something on the bar to lock it, or you just, pause with the bar at your neck. It's great. It's like a short isometric. I'm not the biggest fan of just doing purely isometrics where you like hold with the weight at the top for like 20 seconds. I don't think that's the best way. But yeah, 1 plus half pull-ups, extra height pull-ups, extra height pauses. And you can do pulses and half reps at the top also, as well as adding a band. So there's more tension at the top. But these two are not as important as extra height, doing more of your sets locked, and 1 plus half reps plus pausing extra height and just doing extra height in general. Yeah, honestly, you can go crazy with lock training. You can use a band, put extra height on the bar, and pause at the top, and then do a half rep. You can go wild with lock training. I love it. And you have to get used to it first. You can't just, go absolute crazy mode straight away, because I can't imagine if you're a beginner and you just do that, like your elbows will get fried. It's like if you've never done one-arm pull-ups before and you try to do one-arm pull-ups, your elbows are going to get fried. That's the worst injury I've ever had. I mean, it went away in like under a week. I've never had a really bad injury, but the worst injury I ever had, I'll get into that later, was from just spamming one-arm pull-ups when I'd never done them before. I didn't even do it for that long, it just cooked my elbow. So you have to be careful with lock training. And the thing about lock training is, I believe it will help everyone, but to such massively varying degrees. Not everyone can just, if you're a really explosive athlete like Ludo Adamantium, for example, no amount of lock training, however, like he's insanely strong. Like he's just 130 kilo pull up. Like, come on, you can't you can't criticize that. But however much he does a lot of lock training too, if you watch his videos, or like paused pull ups at least. However much he does that, it's not gonna fix the fact that he'll always be able to, he could probably pull 150 halfway, even 140, 145. I don't know exactly, but he'll never be able to fix the fact that he's an explosive athlete. So his top is never going to be as stronger as his speed out the bottom. But there's nothing wrong with that, But you can see he still does some kind of training, because, I think everyone can improve their top portion. Because for 100% of humans, the top portion of the pull-up is the hardest part. I can't think of a single person who's stronger at the top than at the bottom. Unless freak genetics plus you've only trained the lock, then maybe. But like, I'm just talking generally, Yeah. So yeah, there are lots of lock training exercises, but it's all about extra height and pauses and half pull-ups. And there are many ways to do those things. I have to really speed up. 12 minutes for 3 questions. If I'm going to answer like 90 questions, I'm sure some of you guys said some silly things which I'm not going to answer. But what is the max genetic potential for the average person in weighted pull-ups? I have no clue, I'll be honest. Because in my mind, I don't see why vast majority of people couldn't train to like a 100 kilo pull-up. Like, obviously there are things like, they might be too busy at work, they might have a stressful job, I got all 9s at GCSE, and some of my best training progress was while I was revising, like whatever, 8 hours a day, I don't know, whatever. So, plus, practicing the piano multiple hours every day. The excuse of not having time is not the best excuse, but some people genuinely, they might be doing a manual labor job, they might have insomnia, like clinical insomnia, they might have really terrible leverages. I have long arms, especially long forearms. I don't have optimal leverages. I've just progressed smartly for 2.5 years. But some people might genuinely be cooked because of genetics, not just leverages, but like health conditions. And for those people, well, it's unlikely they're going to get really strong, because those things are going to be really limiting. But for the average person with average leverages and no like harmful health conditions, you know what I'm trying to say, I think everyone could get at least 80 kilo pull up. Like, come on, I don't see why not. It's just people aren't consistent, they don't enjoy their training, and they especially don't have good training methods. And they don't know how to progress. So yeah, I think for like an athlete of weight above like 75 kilos, I think, you know, with strict curl, once people start getting, all the roided up people, once they start getting to 110 kilos, that's kind of where they start to tap out, and the world record's like 116 something or right now. I think that 110 kilo equivalent for pull-ups might actually be also like 105, 110 on pull-ups. But we'll have to see how far I can go. I already know my 32 kilo max reps pull-ups is going to be objectively more important, more impressive than my 1 rep max. But you know, the best way to train for 1 rep max is to increase your, I can't speak. The best way to train for max reps, if it's not purely like endurance, like 50 plus reps, if it's like 20, 30, like with 32 kilos, the best way to train for that is to train your 1 rep max and then refine the technique with lighter weights. That's the best way to do it. So I'm happy with doing my 1 rep max training, even though my 1 rep max is never going to be my most impressive feat of strength in pull-ups. How to handle inconsistency. Whew. Inconsistency in terms of progress is really a mental thing. You just have to understand that progress is going to come in waves. It's not linear. I had this massive plateau at 70, then I had the best progress ever, 70 to 85, mainly because I fixed my training methods and I was training a bit of max reps bodyweight back then. But it was not fun failing 70 kilos so many times, and then even 65 was not going up sometimes. You just have to enjoy training, love it enough to keep on going and see light at the end of the tunnel, you know? If we're talking about inconsistency in training, you've got to choose exercises and a program or way of training that you enjoy. There's either people say, you know, grind, discipline, do what you hate, or it's like too much, you know, have balance, enjoy everything, sunshine and rainbows. It's a bit in between, but I think everyone, if you want to be a really good athlete, you have to love your training. I never skipped a workout just purely because I love doing pull-ups. Like, I love doing pull-ups. It's the highlight of most of my days when I train. Well, vast majority of my days. So how to handle inconsistency with training is just switch your training so that you enjoy it. And make it easier for yourself. If you remove the easy option of not training, which might be for some people, like for me training is easy, but some people might hate it, okay. Whatever they do, but you still want to train for health, get stronger, build a better physique, confidence, blah, blah, blah. I understand some people don't want to be the strongest athletes, they just want to train for all these other benefits. Sure, then you just have to remove the easy options. You know, even lay out all your clothes in the morning, go in the morning before you have time to think about it during the day and put it off for other excuses. You know, choose a gym that's nearby, a way of getting there that's nice, listen to nice music. Like, just find ways to make it enjoyable and easily accessible for you. That's all I can say. Weird question, parents' height. I'm 188 cm, my dad's 179 and my mum's 166. So I'm a bit of a genetic anomaly, but I know some of my Iranian uncles are like quite tall. So could be because of that, could be just, I don't know, luck. I mean, height is polygenic, so you're gonna get it from multiple genes. So it's not the most easily predictable thing in the world, but yeah, I'm taller than I should be if you're just looking at my parents. How to get adapted to pull-ups so that you can train them almost every 2 days. Every 2 days, okay, you mean every other day, okay. Time is your best friend. Increasing work capacity, recovery capacity by smartly increasing frequency, volume and intensity. Sometimes one you increase, sometimes two, sometimes you try and increase all of them, and then you later try and deload that fatigue off, maybe one session deload. I don't like deload. I've never done deload week in my life. Deload week is the most overrated thing ever. Deload workout is great. Deload week, but it's just about time. It's about years. It's not even about months, it's about years. It's about years of, you know, your body adapting those tendons, those ligaments, adapting to the movement pattern, recruiting the motor units more efficiently, everything. It's just time and doing lots of pull-ups often. I can't really say much more. Specific training methods, again, I gotta think about this more, write this down, put it in my program. No sets and reps are going to be told on this video, really, because that's just impossible to come up with on the spot, because there's so many different things that work from different people. But I mean, I can think of one program that's worked really well for me in plateaus, but for adaptation for pull-ups, the broad way is just time and doing more pull-ups more often. And if this is not obvious, max like 4 exercises you choose to focus on. 1 to 4 is the sweet spot, I think. Either pull up or full MPTS basically. And even if you're doing other bodybuilding training, pull-ups at the start of the workout, obviously you get it. You have to prioritize it. That's obvious stuff. I wasn't thinking that low down, but yeah. How many sessions of pull-ups do you do in a week, bro? Is it every day or 3 times a week? Okay, so like 3 to 3.5, I'd say, because there rarely are weeks where I'm training Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, so every other day like that. But I train with 1 rest day in between quite often. But sometimes before a hard session, or if I want to rest a bit, I do 2 days rest. Never more than 2 days rest. So 3 times a week. Let's just say 3 times a week. 3 times a week's good. That's probably what I'm going to be doing during school. Thing is, I enrolled in the gym in school, but the pull-up bar is trash. So on Tuesday and Thursday, I might just go on the treadmill and then train at home afterwards, or do like active recovery muscle ups. So the thing with active recovery is there's some weeks where I do chest to bar pull-ups, even up to 30 kilo chest to bar weighted on every rest day. And there's some weeks where I don't do any active recovery. So this is really just intuitive in what I've learned based on how I feel. But I think active recovery is great. It can speed up recovery slightly by providing blood flow to the tendons, which don't really get much naturally. But it can also help you get adapted more because you're practicing the movement more. So especially for like intermediates, active recovery can be quite good. For advanced, like myself, I don't know, that sounds cocky, but it's just beginners 50 kilo pull up and below, intermediate 50 to 70, advanced 70 plus, elite. Depends on your body weight, obviously 90, 95, maybe 100, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, world class, 100, 110. It just depends on your body weight and genetics, like explosivity, whatever. But yeah, for advanced, yeah, I mean, most days I would do some chest to bars on my home bar here, just something light. So yeah, 3 times a week plus active recovery is great. Have you ever had costochondritis from dips? Yes, when I started, half of it was because my form was messed up, other half was I wasn't used to it. Time is the biggest healer. Like, I just kept on doing them when I used to train dips when I was at like 40 kilo dip ages ago. You'll see in my old long form YouTube videos, 42.5 kilo dip. I think I posted that. That was a great PR. I remember that in my room. Yeah, it was amazing. So it was just time and finding techniques that worked for me, rather than having the open chest. Not crazy hinging, but also like keeping the chest quite closed is quite good. And also, yeah, just time. What are your dream goals, either in calisthenics, lifting, or life in general? Oof, I love this question. Okay, in calisthenics, all I care about is pull-ups. And what I think would be cool, 30 plus pull-ups plus 32 kilos. No, my dream would be micro dead stop, micro locked, 30 pull-ups plus 32 pull-ups with 32 kilos. Micro dead stop, micro locked. Oh, that would be so good. And weight in between legs. But this is quite far-fetched. But, I think it's a possibility. Just something in the 30s with 32 kilos. And I say anything over 100 kilo locked, clean, I'd be happy with. But, you, especially with 1 rep max, you'll always want more. So even though I might be stronger at 32 kilos max reps eventually when I train it, and 50 kilos times 20 is also a big one, especially if the form is good and you have good horizontal closure with weight in between. That's quite far-fetched too. I think 110. If I lock 110 kilo pull up, that's like, wow. But I'm not even saying that's gonna happen. It might be impossible for me, and that's perfectly okay. It's just the battle with yourself. You can't compare yourself with other people. It's just getting better over time, doing what you love, and yeah, sounding a bit cheesy, but really, yeah. Enjoying the process, seeing how it improves other aspects of your life. Yeah, I might do something really good with 32 kilo pull-ups there. That might be something like maybe close to world record level. Lock pull-ups could also be close to world record level because I'm quite good at a lock compared to other people. But yeah, so 105 kilo pull-up lock and 30 times 32, whatever decent form, basically. Plus, both of those can be more and I'll be more happy. Life in general, cliche, financial freedom, living with a happy family in a nice house. Like, emphasis on the happy family, of course. But, nice house is also good. Cars and stuff like that, I don't care. Nice house with a good family where I have freedom to do what I love. I can train when I want. I can perform in piano concerts when I want. Oh, that would be so good. You know, I don't have to worry about things. Having my own business, you know, which gives me that kind of freedom. I think most likely I'll go into finance for a few years at least, and then hopefully start some of my own businesses. They probably won't be related to fitness or pull-ups, but I'll always keep on posting pull-ups and doing some stuff with pull-ups no matter what. And hopefully, you know, when I've sold my whatever tech business, AI business, which is what, you know, might be looking at AI business, so popular now, or whatever else. Then when I have the freedom to perform the piano when I want, to train as much at whatever time as I want, you know, I have a good circle around me, a good network, nice house, beautiful family. That's the goal. What else could you want? You know, freedom to do what you want with good people around you. Like, that's the dream. It might take some hard years of, you know, business grinding or like just general finance job, but I'm happy to do that. I don't know. Investment banking, private equity could be my road into that. Whatever. We'll see. We'll see. I'm stuck on the same weight on pull-ups. How do I break this plateau? And also always having something intellectually stimulating is very good. Like Philip workout, you know, biochemistry, that's great. I love that. I'm stuck on the same weight on pull-ups. How do I break this plateau? I'm sorry, I can't answer this. I need to know more information. Like, I mean, the answer change your training, but I don't know what your current training is, what your life schedule is. People don't realize enough how much your life actually affects you. Like, you have to take that into account. Like, what else you're doing in your life is really going to affect your training. And you always have to look at things in context. Like, this might sound like cope, but do you think 110 kilo pull-up, they're just an athlete, all they do is pull-ups, or like 105 kilo pull-up, but, you know, they have a big job on the side and they're doing other stuff and this and that? Which one's more impressive? Like, okay, the 110 is a bigger load. In competition, obviously he's going to win. But the 105, if you look at it that way, it might be more impressive. But you might completely disagree with me. I don't know exactly what I think about this. I haven't thought about it enough, but yeah. Yeah, I just got to know more information about your training. I guess you're not training often enough. Your workout structure is not locked in. You don't know what you're doing. You're doing some kind of linear progression. You got to do some few intense sets, speed technique, this training top part. I don't know. Just vary the intensity, frequency, volume. But I have to know what you're doing now. Alright, this is all just waffle, so just don't listen to what I said in the last 30 seconds. What is your workout structure? I mean, 3 times a week pull-ups. Occasional muscle-ups, one-arm pull-ups, strict curl, maybe bench dips. But basically just pull-ups. You know, I do a lot of training. I do a lot of high-intensity sets. I do a lot of variation, unusual sets. I do specific things at the start of my workout, you know, heavy lock training. I might do technique speed later. I have my specific warm-ups. I do quite often basically max rep sets in the mid-rep range, or like 1 to 2 IRR, where I know what my max is going to be. Maybe there's some caveat to it, like it's extra high, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So this is all just very, very general stuff. My like program, like workout structure, I can't really say anything. Like, it's really intuitive. It's intuitive. I decide what to do when. Like, I have a general idea always, and I have some planned sets. But sometimes I can just come up with it in the moment, you know. But in my protocol, I'll give lots of examples of some of my successful workouts and kind of, you know, some kind of blueprints which you can adjust based on your own goals and what makes you progress. And, you know, you learn from what I've learned and then you create your own program. That's the goal. But my specific workout structure, I again, some of these things I've got to think about them for hours, write them down and put them into my protocol, because I'm not going to say some random stuff on this video now. What do I think about Ludo? I love Ludo. What do you mean? What do you think about Ludo? How can you not love this guy? 130 kilo pull up. I don't know why it wasn't allowed in competition. I mean, it looked great to me. Maybe some Nikki, I don't know. But yeah. Oh yeah, he posted 125 by 1 today. What the hell? I remember he did 100 times 6. And he did, I think, yeah, he did 50 times 20, right? He's such an explosive athlete. And yeah, he's great. Top 5 pull-up inspirations for me, for sure. Ludo and Philip workout, definitely the GOATs, in my opinion. Oh, and Dima Pools. Dima Pools is like less on social media even. Like, he doesn't post that often, but like, he's a real hardcore, like, and he has a strong lock. I love the strong lock, you know. I've gotta love the lock. Yeah, I remember his 120 kilo pause. That was wow. But that's not the question. You want to ask him about Dima pause or filler workout. Ludo, I love, of course. How many sets and RIR do you do in training session? It changes all the time. Sets, 6 to 9 sets. There's a general number, 7 to 9 sets, something in that range. RIR, it varies for every set. Some sets are really hard, RP 10. And it depends on whether the workout is hard, or maybe even moderate, which I don't do as often, but I still do. And some sets have a lot of RIR, technique, chest to bars, whatever. So it really varies. Varies from session to session and varies within the session. I'll have a lot of different IRRs within the same session. Are you in a calorie proficit, I think you mean surplus, or maintaining? I just eat naturally. I mean, I'm maintaining. My body fat has stayed the same at about, I think, 14% for quite a while. 1 to 2 years even, so yeah. This is just an estimate. I mean, you know, there's really inaccurate things. It said once mine was like 14.5, once like 13.5. I'm saying 14.50, my body fat probably. If you look at my face though, you'd think I'm like 18. But like, this, yeah, I'm like relatively lean. So, I don't know. How long did it take you to make 87 kilos of added ballast? Ballast, maybe, I don't know what language that's from. But 87 kilos of added weight. I did my first bodyweight pull-up 19th of December 2023. That was my first ever pull-up in training. It was a grind. So yeah, and I weighed like 53 kilos. So from 53 kilos to 79, 78 kilos in the morning, 0 to 87.5 kilos. 2 years and like 9 months, 8 months. So yeah. How to get rid of plateaus. Switch up your training. Find out what's not working, because there is something that's not working. It could be your sleep recovery. It could be how often you're training. It could be you're not training your weakness enough. It could be you're not doing enough hard sets. You're not doing enough specific rep range. Maybe you don't have enough volume in like the 5 to 6 rep range. You need to build up towards a 1 rep max. So many things it could be. Your technique is rubbish. Like, it could be a lot. So you've got to find what's wrong. You've got to really analyze it, and you do that by experimenting. Again, experimenting. Try something one workout. This worked better. You find out what's wrong, what was wrong, then you fix it. Boom. What exercise do you train and how many times per week do you do it? Pull-ups 2 times a week. Strict curl, muscle up, 1-arm pull-ups, only ever for fun, and same with bench and dips. But basically just pull-ups. Yeah. How much does adding isolations after pull-ups affect strength gain? Oh, good question. Good question. So the only isolations I would ever think of adding to pull-ups is some kind of horizontal row and some kind of curl. I mean, strict curl is fun. It's a really fun movement, proper grind movement too, and it's like it feels cool when you strict curl 60 kilos. But how much does it affect strength? If you're not used to those isolations, it's cooked. Because like, you know, if you train a new exercise for the first time and you go hard on it, you might be out of action properly for like 5 days, 6 days. So, but if you're, you know, you build up some curling stuff. I always thought, because listen, for me, I don't get sore really from my workouts ever. And if I ever get sore, it's because I did a crazy workout and I feel 1% in my biceps when I stretch out. Otherwise, I'm good. Or like in my shoulder, upper trap, maybe I feel something if I'm doing some vigorous movement. But otherwise, I don't get sore. And I was thinking, if I do strict curl, you know, get my biceps adapted to more work, then when I stop doing strict curl and do pull-ups, maybe my biceps will get less sore and recover at the same rate as like my lats, for example, and then I'll be able to train more often, harder. But I don't know how much truth there is to that, and I haven't done strict curl consistently and long enough to say anything on that. But, you know, a couple moderate intensity sets of strict curl and rows, it can't be too bad. But I wouldn't do them every session for sure. Maybe once a week, twice a week max. And also, well, I mean, I'm not doing them right now. So if you want, what I'm doing is I'm not doing any isolations. And how will they affect your strength gain? It depends on how used you are to them. and like how many sets you've done in the workout in general. Because if you've done a hard pull-up workout and you start going to failure on curls afterwards, that's just cooked. Don't do that. So if the rest of your pull-up workout hasn't been too hard and you still have some energy left, one of the best ways to do accessories without cooking yourself is do especially really fast rows where you're like hitting yourself, like with this S bar I have. And you can also do like fast curls, and that's the way to do accessories without really getting much fatigue and soreness from them. So that's one way to go about it. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing accessories hard or too often, but they can definitely fit in with training. But the transfer might be very minimal, if even. Like, you can do them for muscle gain, for fun. Maybe in the long term they might help joint health, whatever. But I can't think that doing a set of strict curl instead of another set of pull-ups would make you stronger at pull-ups ever. But in the long term, I could be wrong. So yeah, isolations are a bit of a grey area. For most people, isolations are like, do them. But you know, in the calisthenics community, isolations are a bit like, you're just wasting your time. But I think it's somewhere in the middle. Like, if you program them not too often, not too hard, especially life hack is just to do them explosively with reserve, then they can work really well. And they're also fun. So yeah. Oh, lateral raises triceps, you said in brackets. Yeah, I don't train side delts. I mean, I've got a bit of a curve, but like, this is like, my side delts are better than I'd expect because I literally don't train. The last time I did them was a year ago, like, and I didn't even do them much back then. And my triceps are also quite small compared to my biceps. This is bad lighting, you can't really see. But yeah, tricep pushdowns, honestly, I think they can take a lot. You don't really get sore from them that much. But strict curl, you can get quite sore. Lateral raises. Again, the slide delts can take a lot, but it's really hard to not get your traps engaged. And I found if I ever, in my olden days where I did squats or lateral raises, I'd always get some sore and annoying traps, and it just wouldn't be nice in my workout. When I roll my shoulders, I feel it, and it's not the nicest thing. But again, it's all about getting used to the exercises, building up over time, and programming smartly, not too often, not too hard, where the focus is always vastly on the movement you want to target, and accessories are just for muscle or for fun, or maybe for specific weakness targeting. Like maybe strict curl could help with the lock of the pull-up, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm the same age as you. I'm using the 2-set method to improve. Do you think it's good? My most popular long form video on YouTube is the 2-set method, but it's only good for beginners for like 1 to 2 months. The 2-set method where you rest 2 days between workouts is not that bad, but you know, it's advised by, you know who I'm talking about. Again, listen, there's too much hate in the calisthenics. I love Ian Barsegal. Like, he was genuinely my first calisthenics inspiration. I would like download his videos onto my phone and watch them before my workout, and I got pumped up. And you know, his motto now is, you know, keeping busy men in shape with 30-45 minute sessions like twice a week. And that's fine. A lot of people need that. You have to think about how many different demographics there are. You know how many like 40-year-old men who have tough jobs who just want to get a bit healthier would really benefit from Barsegal's advice more than other people. And also, Barsegal's an extremely respectable athlete. His max one on pull-ups, I can't remember, he did 8, 9 or 10. His goal was 10, I think. I can't remember what he got. And his pull-ups, I remember 60 kilos times 11. That was a famous video, but I don't know what his peak was. Dips 105 times 8 was respectable, very. And his no dip muscle ups for his height and physique and weight and everything. It's great. It genuinely sickens me because so many people hate way too much. Like, people have different training goals. People have their own lives. He's made such a net positive impact on the calisthenics community. Just because you think the 2-set method for advanced or even intermediate athletes isn't near to the best method, that doesn't mean you can just like hate on this guy like perpetually. Like, I love Ian Barsegal. So if you're a beginner, 2-set method can be great. I wouldn't rest the recommended like 4 to 5 days. I'd rest like 2, maybe 3 if you're sore. Because, you know, now I'm doing way more than 2 sets to RPE 10 in most workouts. And there's no way I need to rest near that much, and I'm also doing more sets after that, and more than 2 sets anyway. So the problem with it is that it's low volume, and he tells you to do it low frequency. But I mean, for beginners, you get that really hard stimulus, and because you're a beginner, you can't really do too many sets, and you gotta rest. I mean, it makes sense. So I think for beginners, it can be great. Just don't waste rest days where you could train and you're not training. And there's no harm in adding a couple more sets afterwards, just because at that level, like bodyweight technique, after that, it's calm. So for beginners, it's decent. After that, I wouldn't do it, but it has its place for sure, and there's no reason to hate on people over such petty things, because I know he's been such an inspiration to many people. Okay. Oh, I lost the page. Let me see. What are supplements that you take to improve your recovery and general health? Great question. So supplements are going to maybe add 5% to your progress. If you have a deficiency, or you have really high stress, or you're really responding to like creatine or caffeine. Well, caffeine, no, is really good for it, but we're not talking about like acute performance benefit. I'm talking about like general health and benefit. 5%, maybe if you're really cooked with something, 10%, but most people might be a few percent. Again, it's nothing to worry about. If you're eating a good diet, you don't even really need them, except for creatine. I think is great, and I might as well just stop yapping generally and tell you what I take. So I'll tell you the best ones. Creatine. One of my friends actually said he got headaches from it and it didn't make him stronger. But like for everyone else I've talked to, great like strength benefit, and it's really healthy, and it's got even more cognitive benefits. People don't realize that it's really good for memory and everything, because it stores more water in your brain, around your brain, in the fluid, whatever. So creatine is great. I mean, it's the GOAT supplement. So I just say this is not medical advice. Don't listen to me. Don't copy anything I'm saying in this video. Always consult and get advice from a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. Don't listen to me. But creatine is great. Omega-3s are great. Just you look at the benefits of omega-3s, like how many things are just good for you in general health, and like zero potential ever side effects of it. And you're not going to be eating realistically enough fish to get a lot of it. So I think omega-3s are great. Everyone knows. Creatine, some people might waffle about some side effects. Omega-3s, you can't even try and make up side effects. So I think omega-3s are great for general health. Creatine, great for strength, cognitive benefits, and they can make your physique look better because of water retention. Whatever, I don't know how it works. It generates ATP in your muscles faster or something, I don't know. But it's great for like 1 rep max strength boosts. And yeah, obviously it accumulates in your muscles over time, so it's not a one-time thing before your PR. Caffeine is great for your workouts. People say, why do you take caffeine? It's just adding to your performance. Like if you train without it, your overall progression will be the same. But I say it makes the workout more fun. It makes you more focused, more locked in, more pumped. Like your body's ready to go. Like I think that's better for progress slightly overall, because you'll just be inclined to train harder, train better, be more focused. I mean, pre-workouts and energy drinks are quite artificial, but I don't think it's the end of the world. If you take caffeine pills on their own, I've never done that, but like maybe that's a good way too. Or just drink coffee, because coffee is actually very healthy. So yeah, creatine, caffeine, omega-3s, and then 2 more of the top 5, the big 5. Magnesium glycinate, very bioavailable and good for absorption. I think more than half of people are apparently deficient in magnesium. It's very good for relaxing muscles and sleep. And then zinc, for health and testosterone. But you don't even have to take zinc. I mean, I take zinc, but yeah, I don't know how much of an effect it'll have. You won't notice an effect of any of these, apart from obviously caffeine and pre-workout you'll notice, and maybe creatine, but nothing else you'll notice. So if I had to recommend 5, it would be creatine, omega-3s, in this order by the way, some form of caffeine or pre-workout, magnesium, and then zinc. And vitamin D3, if you're not getting enough sun. I mean, you can take K2 with it. I don't take K2 yet, even though I maybe should. but I don't think I'm like deficient in K2. It should be fine. But yeah, D3 and K2 are good. They often come together, but I just take D3 if I haven't got enough sun. A lot of people have talked to take B12 for some reason. I have B12, but I like never take it, and it's also in most like pre-workout and stuff. So we'll keep it at 6 now, just D3. L-theanine, I take. I had Newtonic, you know, the drink with caffeine and L-theanine in it before every single GCSE, and I got all 9s by a significant margin. Nothing was even on the boundary or even close. So like, I don't know, part of that was I was so locked in the exams, and I think L-theanine had a part in it, and it's good for lowering cortisol, calming you down, promoting alpha brain waves, better for sleep. But this sounds all crazy and stuff, but you're not going to notice it, and it's some tiny gain. The other ones I said before are way more important, but I take L-theanine also. L-tyrosine before my workouts for dopamine and adrenaline, I think. Again, a very mild thing. It's very mild. Like caffeine's going to have much more of an effect for your workout, but I just like it. And it's also good for reducing stress. If you've slept badly or you have a stressful day, L-tyrosine in the morning can be good. L-theanine and magnesium, all good for sleep and reducing stress. Then, I guess, via sleep, and also L-theanine and L-tyrosine reduce stress also. Ashwagandha, I tried. Honestly, I actually felt it. I felt really calm. But out of all of these, that's probably the riskiest. None of these are really risky. But ashwagandha, I don't take ashwagandha. I don't take it right now. I took it for a bit. I'm not taking it now. But a lot of people say it benefits them. I can't say anything from my part. I only took it for a short while, and that was a while ago. So yeah, and it can have effect on the thyroid hormones, whatever. But this could just be fear mongering. I'm sure you'll be fine if you take it. I'm 100%, 99.9%. But it's not something I'd recommend, partly because it's not tested enough in teens, and also because I haven't had enough experience with it, unlike these other ones. So yeah, that's it. Apart from the big 5, L-tyrosine, L-theanine, vitamin D3, you can take collagen and have a fruit with it for great absorption. I have some collagen here, but I haven't touched it in months and months, so you don't need really collagen. I mean, a lot of people like glycine, and collagen is quite high in glycine and good for tendons and stuff. So if you're particularly sore and cooked, just put it in your milk or whatever, and then just have a fruit with it. Might be good, but I don't take it. So yeah, these 8, D3, L-tyrosine, L-theanine, creatine, omega-3s, caffeine / pre-workout, magnesium, zinc. That's a really, it's overkill. You definitely don't need all of these, but this is a very solid stack, and I just focus on getting a few of those top 5 because the benefit is going to be minimal. Do I have a climbing background? Absolutely not. Moving on. How to increase bench rapidly, any program. Bro, I'm sorry. I'm not going to answer things I don't know about. Bench, I did for a few months, and it skyrocketed my dips. The only reason I have an 85 kilo dip right now without even doing it is because I did bench for fun for a couple months. And I got from 90 kilo last and paused to like 102.5 in a short time. That was crazy. It was really fun too. Bench is a really fun exercise. Dips are not that fun for me. Bench is fun though. Especially Larson, I love. But yeah, any program, sorry bro, you gotta ask my good friend Nico, Nikutin is his username on TikTok and Instagram. He's insane at bench press. This one's in Spanish, I think. Has pensando en practicar el front lever. Oh, I got the front lever bit. So, no, I don't train front lever. I don't think I could do it even. Even after a few weeks of training, I might not even have it. I'm really bad. No, I mean, I probably would. But now if I tried it, I wouldn't get it. So the transfer is actually quite small. The transfer from weighted pull-ups to muscle-ups and one-arm pull-ups is massive. The transfer from weighted pull-ups to front lever, at least for me, is like nothing. So yeah. Well, no, it increased the size of my water bottle. The water in it of specific front lever is just really low. But to fill it up, it'll be faster now. I think we get better at using that analogy. I really liked it. Okay, how many times... Another one, how many times a week do you train pull-up and how many sets RIR? Whoa, I thought I was going crazy rereading. It's a different person, same question. I answered this earlier. How do you manage training hard with a terrible university schedule? I'm actually an expert at this because, you know, I have like 6 different music activities in school. And my school, I mean, I'm rinsing it a bit. I got all 9s at GCSE, so I study very hard. Lots of homework, lots of nights going to bed at midnight, midnight, most nights actually in school, like, and waking up at 7:30. Even sometimes I have to wake up early for whatever before school 7. So sleep and stress, you got to do evening workouts. Nothing's really optimal a lot of the time. Some weeks I've got stuff under control, and my goal for the 6th form is to be more under control than I was in year 11 by, you know, wasting less time, being more efficient, having the routine really locked in and staying in control of things, and trying to get into bed at 10:30, 11 every day if I'm waking up at 7:30. Like, optimal would be 10:30 to 7:30, but that's absolutely not going to happen 90% of the time. But the difference between 10:30 and 7:30 and 11 and 7 is much smaller than the differences between 11 and 7 and getting like bad sleep. Like, that's a massive difference. 5-6 hours versus 7-8 is such a big difference, but 7-8 versus 9, it's not that deep. Like, on Sunday I'll sleep a lot, like, okay. Yeah, and I'm decent with sleep. Sleep is my like worst thing. I'm decent with sleep as in, like, even if I sleep badly, I manage it quite well. And the acute effect on performance of sleeping badly on the night of your training is basically nothing. But chronic bad sleep is terrible. Over a few days is quite bad, but chronic is really bad. Even if you catch up on the weekends, if you're sleeping every single night, like 12:30 to 7, that's not good. My goal, let's be realistic. This is why I said you have to take into context someone's life when looking at their program. In school, hopefully one night a week. I have school on Saturdays, by the way, just so you know. So I only have one day weekend where I can sleep well on Saturday. Okay, Saturday and Sunday I sleep as long as possible. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'll try and get one a week, 10:30 to 7:30, perfect. Then realistically, there'll be a 11 to 7:30 and an 11 to 7. And then 2 times in the week, there might be a 12 to 7:30. There might be one 12:30 to 7, one even to 7. Not great. I'll try and minimize that, but it might happen, and I won't train on that day, and I'll structure my training around it. Some days I know will be busier than others. Same for the university question that you said, yeah. So you just gotta, this is why intuitive training is great. No program can ever account for the massive fluctuations you can get, especially with a busy life schedule. So you gotta just get into the routine, really get into the routine where, you know, this day, okay, I'm gonna be doing this lighter workout because I'm really gonna be cooked. But then on Sunday, I can push really hard. And optimizing everything else. If your sleep's gonna be bad, don't throw everything else away. Like, oh, I hate this mindset, which is like, I slept badly, like nothing matters now, today's a bad day. Like, what? Let's sleep 10-20% of the equation. Why not maximize the other 80%? Like, eat great that day. Take supplements that kind of slightly you can never counteract lost sleep, but you know, the L-theanine, magnesium, L-tyrosine, creatine are really great for sleep loss. And then ashwagandha, as I said, I haven't had enough experience with it, but that's also apparently great for lowering stress and cortisol, benefiting sleep. Then eat well, train well, don't fatigue yourself, blah, blah, blah. Think about your next workout, just optimize everything else. That's what I'd say. Whatever's going wrong in your university schedule, maybe one day you just can't train, or still eat well, still try and sleep well, recover well. Or maybe one day you are at some function and you eat pizza and you've got crazy water retention and you're like heavy the next day and you slept badly. Then try and maximize the diet that day and try and train as well as you can. Like, half of it is acceptance and half of it is maximizing everything else. But another half, 50%, so now we're on 150%, so I'm completely waffling, but is I'm going to try my best to not get overwhelmed by school, however busy it is. My dream, if I have a week where I go 10:30 to 7:30 or 10:30 to 7, if I have to wake up before, for the whole week, that's my life goal for year 12. Obviously, I'm trying to get all A stars, but even above that, if I prove to myself that I can consistently sleep 10:30 to 7:30, That's a massive win for me. And this is the thing, you can't compare yourself with other people. Like 10:30 to 7, this goal might be absolutely meaningless for some people. But for me, this is as great as 90 kilo pull-up lock. If I prove to myself 10:30 to 7:30, I've not procrastinated. I've done everything when I have to, behind schedule. If, for example, one day I know I have time now, but I'm going to have to do lots of work tomorrow, I do that work on this day when I have time and I don't slack off. And then I make sure I'm in bed by 10:30 and I've got my recovery on lock and I don't let the potential stress of school get in the way of my training. That's like up there in my goals. Like that would be so fulfilling. So yeah, you just got to work around it and keep going forward. It's also not like having things cooked in your schedule like destroys your progress, eliminates it. It's most likely it just slows your progress, but you can still get there over time. It might just take you longer. It's not like it cuts you off. You have to think about that. Okay, training and nutrition philosophy. Nutrition philosophy, lots of organic animal foods, protein, lots of nutrients, generic stuff. I said this earlier. Training philosophy is you got to enjoy your training. You got to find some deeper reasons in why you're training. That can be surface level things like you want to gain more muscle, look more attractive potentially. Then there's slightly deeper things like, you know, gaining confidence and like self-assurance. And there can be some really deep things where you like really get some personal self-fulfillment out of training. And I think it's good to tap into that third deep level too. But yeah, the overarching thing is you have to enjoy training and you have to like find purpose in it. Like not just enjoyment, but like why you really, like how is this going to benefit your life, the rest of your life, everything else in your life, and just how you feel every day. How is this, why are you doing it? Like, why are you training? You got to really think about that. It's so different for everyone, so I can't really say anything. But how to program your workout to maximize progress for strength. This is like, I really want to say something, but like it's such a big, how to program your workout to maximize progress for strength, pull up, dip. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about managing recovery. That's all it is. If you could do 1 billion sets in a workout and recover from it, you'd have the best progress ever. Adding more sets of pull-ups will make you better at pull-ups. The only reason it doesn't is because you can't recover from them. But when you increase your recovery and work capacity so that you can, your progress will be better. So it's all about juggling the intensity, frequency, and volume, and recovering as well as you can, and adapting to the exercises, prioritizing some exercises over everything, and having a progressive overload method that you can rely by, whether it's a program that you love. Again, I talk about intuitive training, I do intuitive training, I have nothing against great programs. So you find a great program, or you find a reliable intuitive training method, some specific workout blueprints that you know, okay, I'm not sure what I can do today, but if I do this, I know it will benefit me. You just gotta, experimentation, finding out the best progression methods for you. How to program it specifically, sets and reps. Again, I just can't say anything on the video. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't say do 3 sets of this way. Like, come on. I have to spend hours writing that down and giving many examples and lots of caveats and stuff. It's impossible. How could one find the love for dips? Don't ask me, bro. I hate dips. That's why I never do them. Have you experienced wrist pain from muscle ups? Absolutely. That's why I also don't like them. Yeah, I've experienced wrist pain from muscle ups. Like, again, time would probably fix it moderately, and I don't really, having crazy false grip on muscle up, I don't really like. If I'm like this, and then when I do transition, I'm not really good at flicking my wrist all the way over because I basically never train them. And then my wrist always gets flattened, so it's like, yeah, I have. How to fix it, that kind of stuff, I can't really say much more. I don't know. Time and specific, maybe wrist curls, yeah. I start weighted pull-ups a month ago. When can I hope to do 60 kilos? I'm actually at 30 for 4. Okay, so if you're at 30 for 4, depending on your body weight, you're probably at like just under 40 kilo pull-up. When can I hope to do 60 kilos? Again, this depends on your life, bro. This depends on your life. I need to know so many details about your life. But how long did it take me to get from like about 40 to 60? I mean, if you have good training methods, you could get there in like 4 months. If you have crazy progress, 2-3 months, but that's unlikely. Like 3 to 6 months, maybe. If you have bad progression, years. But if you get the Daniel Endures protocol, okay, fine, 30 to 60. We're talking more like 50 kilo pull up and above. Actually, 40-45 kilo pull up is about the limit from where my program will benefit. If you're below like 40 kilo pull up, you gotta ask some other people or me in the future for beginner training methods. But if you're about 45 to 50, that's where you will benefit from my program, absolutely. So if you get that, 10 days, bro. Obviously joking, but yeah. Best 1 or 2 exercises for strengthening the top part. Lock pull up. Ooh, I already answered this. Plus, what's the rep range? Ooh, yes. This what's the rep range and what exercises? That's gonna be a big part of my protocol, especially, yeah, where in your workout, how hard, what reps, what weight, what exercises, how often, how many. Lots of stuff about lock training. It's such a deep topic. Again, it doesn't work for everyone as much as it works for other people, with massive difference. But I digress. What's the rep range? It can be anything. Just lock training is lock training. I'll have to think about this more. I'm not gonna just say random stuff about lock training because this is quite a hard topic. So I'm afraid you'll have to wait until my protocol comes out. But all rep ranges work for lock training, so some work more than others at different times, but again, I have to think about this more. I'm not going to mislead people in this video. How much for the workout plan? Okay, if this is referring to my pull-up protocol, which I'm releasing hopefully next week, but in the near future, I don't know. Because, listen, we have to make money, but on top of everything is providing a quality platform that I wish I would have had when I was more of a newbie in my training. But you know, I spent so much time making videos of training and just being active on social media. Like come on, let me get a little bit from it. No, but the price should be reasonable. I haven't thought about this at all. I don't know whether for the community it'll be you get in my YouTube membership and I post specific videos and things on YouTube, and then you automatically get access, or also if you buy my protocol you get access to the community for free. But the protocol, it won't be anything crazy. I don't know whether to do like £30 one-off or like a recurring subscription, like a school. I've started like laying out the information, what I'm gonna give, but I don't know exactly in what format. Should I do a school? Should I do a YouTube I will do a YouTube membership that leads into a Discord server. But should I do a PDF? Should I do a school? I don't know. How much are you guys really willing to pay? Because, you know, I love you guys, my fans. I don't want to do something that's like not affordable. But at the same time, like if you're really serious about your progress, you're going to pay a little bit of money to get, you know, the crux of pull-up training. But yeah, tell me in the comments, because I want to be completely fair, and I have no experience with selling anything really. So tell me what you guys want, like now, because I've already started making it. I need to know now how much you're willing to pay, whether you want it recurring or one-off, PDF or school. I think, yeah, 100% there's going to be a Discord community, and I want to create a YouTube membership regardless. But I don't know whether the main program should be in a PDF that you can just buy, or in like a school or some kind of recurring membership thing, or it should be all via YouTube and Discord. I don't know, you guys tell me. But yeah, I'll just do my best to find a compromise. Not a compromise, the quality will be 100 out of 100, but a compromise where the price is also great. Because I don't understand, you know, these high ticket bodybuilding coaches, like their physique is mid and they're charging £5,000, like £1,000 to £5,000 per month for I can't believe it. Like I can't believe it. But you can't do that in calisthenics. This is different. Like I'll maybe charge £30 for my program, or maybe £20 a month for a recurring thing? I don't know. I don't know. I have to think about this more. This is a great question. I haven't thought about this enough, to be honest, because, you know, I'm like extremely grateful. It genuinely warms my heart. I have like actual fans, you know, they return to my videos, remember things, they're looking forward for my progress. Even in the last few days, there have been some videos made like about me. So it's like, I just want to create the best thing for you guys that you'll benefit the most from and that you can easily get access to. So yeah, you guys gotta tell me, and I'll think about it too. But I hope, like maybe 2 minutes ago, maybe I sounded a bit pretentious, but like I'm not. If you were in my position, would you create a big program and everything just completely for free? Like, that's unrealistic. Like, this is life. No one's gonna do that. But at the same time, I want to create a really fair and nice price and something that you benefit from the most. So you guys just gonna tell me what you want, tell me what you want to see, because I'll always listen to the fans. But enough on that. This is gonna be nothing that's gonna be sustaining me long term. This is just a little, like, financially, I know my life is not gonna be, I'm not gonna be getting my money from pull-ups from calisthenics, 99.99999%. So this is just a little thing, you know. But yeah, how to build adaptation in pull-ups. I answered this already. Time, specific progression, structure, progressive overload, with enough volume and frequency. That was waffle what I just said. What the hell did I just say? But yeah, just time and number of pull-ups per week you're doing. Kind of. Yeah, adaptation is just specificity times time, like, and volume times volume, whatever. Stupid formula I just made doesn't work, but you get what I'm saying. Again, adaptation, I got to think about this more and put it in my protocol, because adaptation is like the biggest thing. The biggest factor in recovery is not your diet, not your sleep, nothing. Overall, it's how used you are, how adapted you are to the specific exercises. Therefore, how quickly you can recover from it, how sore you get, how fatigued your CNS gets, everything. That's the most important part of recovery. So, and that's adaptation. So it's a big thing. You've got to think about it more. Yeah, so lock training, adaptation, and how much I'm going to be charging and what exactly I'm going to be selling. Got to think about these three things more. Just spam my comments. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on everything. So yeah. And come on, like, share, subscribe if you're not already. If you're on this video, which is extremely niche, I think you're subscribed, but if you're not, I'd really appreciate the subscription so I can keep on doing this kind of stuff. Because during school, with how much piano and studying I'm doing, I still want to post as much as possible. So any support is greatly appreciated. Bro, can you dive into nutrition, like how you time carbs before training? Carbs, like 1 hour before training. I drink a lot of water in the morning. A lot of water, coconut water, normal water with my creatine. And then I have my carbs, like 4 bananas or rice cakes with bananas and honey. I either have 4 bananas with maybe 1 later, 3 or 4 with 1 later, or rice cakes maybe 1 hour before my workout, 1.5. No, because if I'm traveling to the gym and I'm not training at home, it's more like 1.5, because then I always shower after that. I always shower before my workouts and after, obviously, because I want to be fresh for my workouts, and I'm always stronger after I've showered. So like, yeah, that's just part of my ritual. You've got to find your training ritual. You do some things unique, like if I wear black Calvin Kleins, I feel like I'm going to be stronger, you know? Don't clip that. How do you handle stress from school and training? Refer back to my previous answer for university. 1 hour, 8 minutes I've been talking. I gotta speed up. How much weighted pull-ups is speed run front lever? Oh, another good question I can skip past because I have no clue and I can't do front lever and I have a crazy weighted pull-up, so it doesn't correlate that much. What's your take on cluster sets? Could they be useful in weighted pull-up training? Whew. Nah, I don't like cluster sets, let me be honest. Like, I just don't see why you wouldn't do like normal other sets. Like, you want to practice power output under fatigue. EMOMs, like especially for like muscle ups, are good. Cluster sets though, like you do like 5 reps, you hop off the bar, you shake out your arms and you go back. Like, if your grip has slipped, it's fine to go off the bar and re-grip maybe, but like cluster sets, I wouldn't do them. I haven't done them enough also to give a great opinion, but they might definitely work. Could definitely work for you. I just need to see how you're using them. How many sets, how hard, where in your workout, how often. How is life going? Life's great. I'm like always a happy person. I've got my purpose, motivated in many things. No, I'm very happy. I can't say anything negative really. What is the biggest factor that helps increase endurance in the movement after 30 reps? I kind of want to say increasing your 1 rep max, because even after 30 reps, I think increasing your 1 rep max, if you maintain the technique of bodyweight and you practice it relatively, not even, you practice that kind of endurance every so often and you maintain the technique while increasing your 1 rep max, you're bound to increase your reps. Specific things for endurance. Weighted endurance is great. Again, just weighted stuff is great. Lots of sub-maximal sets. I'm not an expert on endurance, so I won't say much more, but yeah, sub-maximal sets, weighted endurance, just weighted general training. Many sets, higher sub-maximal, it can work. Why are your arms so small? I think it's the triceps, bro. Yeah, it's the triceps. Yeah, I don't train for hypertrophy at all. I don't know how much bigger I would be if I dedicated all my training to bodybuilding. I would be quite a lot bigger, to be honest. But you know, pull-ups and dips, especially dips, are great for hypertrophy. Pull-ups, nah, they're great too. Like, come on, my back. If you saw how skinny my back, no, they're good. No, pull-ups are also great for hypertrophy. What am I saying? Even for the biceps, brachialis, whatever. But yeah, I just don't do much hypertrophy training. I wouldn't say my arms are like small. Like, people think I'm jacked. People think like I'm bigger in real life than I am on camera. People think I'm jacked in real life. But I don't think I'm jacked really. I accept that I've got quite a lean physique, whatever. Not too big. But yeah, it's just about the specificity of my training to pull-ups. If I want bigger arms, I do tricep and bicep isolations and go really to failure and have a hypertrophy split, not doing pull-ups 3 times a week with explosive form and that kind of stuff. But yeah, bro, we are waiting for best training that you did and get insane progress. I'm stuck at 65 kilos. Yeah, more YouTube vlogs are coming of my training. School starts in just over a week next Friday. I've got induction, and then on Saturday school, and then Sunday weekend, and then school on Monday. Summer's flown by. That's maybe my one regret. No, I mean, you made quite good use of this summer, especially the first half of the summer. Last couple of weeks I should have done more. I really should have done more, but it's okay. It's okay, guys. Okay, 1 second. Was there any structured workout plan that actually worked for you? Yes, there was, and I created it myself. And I'm gonna gatekeep it for the guide because it's long to explain, but there's one guy I'm actually experimenting on it with it right now, and it's going quite well. And I experimented on myself very much, but if I hit plateau with intuitive training, I'll do this program a couple weeks, maybe even just 2-3 workouts, and I'm good. So different things work for different people. I gotta think about this more, but it will be in my pull-up protocol. I think I have to be slightly gatekeeping and not just spew everything out in this video, even though this video is already a gold mine. I've said so much stuff, like, come on, this 95% of people are not going to give half of this for free. So yeah, have to be realistic. Do you take deloads? Deload workouts, bro, like rarely. I would take one on Monday because this is the first time I'm ever peaking for a PR read. No, I've done some kind of microcycle, some kind of iffy peaks, but never like peak. I'm not even doing a peak now, but like somewhat of a peak, you know? If you get what I'm saying. But I wouldn't recommend deload weeks. Like if you have to do a deload week, a whole week, or even a week off, like training completely, you've done something wrong. Like there's no way you're needing all of that. Like I trained really hard and max I knew one. Well, actually, I technically did a deload workout a few days ago because I quit my workout because I was really weak, because I accumulated a bit of fatigue unexpectedly. But there'll be a section in my protocol on mistakes and my experience and why and how I fixed them. I'll definitely go into that there. But yeah, deload workouts can be great. Deload weeks also can be great, but I don't do them. I don't like them. What's the breathing you do before a heavy set? Oh, sit down. You rest the hands on your knees, so like no muscles are being activated, and you have your feet forward, so like you're not activating your like hamstring or even at all. Lots of, you can't do, you need more inhaling than exhaling. Ideally, you need that oxygen, you know. I might do some through the nose. I'm visualizing my set coming down. Then I usually do 5 breaths like that. Then I shake my arms. Then I do 3. And then I do the really hyperventilator. I go onto the platform. I lock in on the platform. I do a few more big like that. And then I make like a noise and grab onto the bar. And then I do the pull up, whatever. Just lots of big inhaling. Eyes closed, shaking arms or resting arms on the chair or whatever I'm sitting on, and then on the platform, and then a bit of hyperventilating too, maybe a slap on the face, maybe a little shout, you know. Okay, your opinion on Philip's base. I was in it for like a year and I think it's great. He teaches you like the way I aspire to teach people. He doesn't give you a program like 99% of people. He tells you how exactly to create your own, and there's so much information there. And it's such a friendly, nice community, and everyone there just, you know, you want the best for everyone there. It was a great experience. I learned a lot from it. Yeah, the way he gives advice, and he's the guy. He's very knowledgeable and everything, of course. So, highly recommend Philip's base. Philip's base plus Daniel and Jules protocol. Oh, you're good. You don't need anything else. How to do 200 kilo pull up. Maybe like get some kind of robot tendons which like pull like crazy and like become a cyborg. Like, I don't know, bro. How important do you think your intelligence, all 9s, GCSEs, etc. has been to your pull-up progress? I love this question. What a question. Because one of the things you have to think about most when you're training, or even when you're in school, is why am I doing this? And how is it going to affect the rest of my life? And I think, you know, the consistency, the delayed gratification, the passion I've learned from training, and amongst all sorts of other things, has so greatly benefited every aspect of my life. Like my piano playing is going to be more passionate. I'm going to have more stage presence. My, you know, if I have a long day of school, training clears my mind. And if it's like during GCSEs, I train in the morning and then I revise for the rest of the day. Or even I train before my exam, clears my head, gets me in the zone for studying. I can study more effectively. And vice versa, I have this intellectual pursuit. Potentially, it's helped me have such strong intuitive training, because intuitive training, it's risky, it's hard, but the potential gains are like this. And if you do it properly, it's the best. So for me to come up with my intuitive training protocol, which I will share in my guide completely, intelligence may have come into play, maybe, but I wouldn't say you need to be like that smart to come up with a really great program. It's more about time and experimentation. But apart from, like, why did I just take a screenshot of my iPad? Apart from creating a program, like how I've looked into my workouts philosophically, my like training mindset and philosophy, and how I look at my overall progression, and yes, how I create my intuitive program, and how I think about my training, really, I guess, has been influenced by my intellectual pursuits, whatever you want to call them, studying and the piano. And I think out of these three, piano, studying, and working out has been the one that positively influenced the other two the most. So I'd say all nines and stuff, I mean, I don't know how much it'll help your pull-up progress, but I think pull-up progress could greatly help your pianistic skills, passion, your introspection, all that kind of stuff, how you think about your purpose, and also could greatly influence your routine, your health, how effectively you can study. So I think everything I do benefits everything else, but specifically intelligence. Again, I'm not trying to sound cocky. This is what this guy said, that objectively it has impacted my pull-up training. Maybe not that much, but again, there's no control experiment where there's this really dumb Daniel who does pull-ups, so I can't really say anything. But I'd say it has benefited it. I can't say why though. I don't know. How many times a week do you train? 3? Basically, 3.5 maybe, 4, whatever, 3. I feel like my 1 rep max is super weak compared to my 5, 4, 3 rep max. Never heard that one before. Maybe you're in a better position after you've done your first rep. Like maybe you're swinging less, maybe your scapula, your shoulders are in a better position, because maybe if you haven't practiced the 1 rep max technique enough when you have such a heavy weight and you just go and do it, maybe you're swinging too much, you have a bad start position, so you can't express your strength fully. But I mean, 3, 4, 5 rep max are extremely correlated to 1 rep max. So because if you're an explosive athlete, you're also going to have an explosive like 3, 4, 5 rep max. So maybe you have some crazy grind, like some crazy technique. Oh, I know. A lot of people who train on setups, maybe they film from behind from a low angle. They do like 6 reps with something when they could only do like 2, because they do weight behind the legs and they flick with the hamstring and they never get their chin over the bar, but all the reps look almost the same because they're really abusing the form. And then they try add 5 kilos and they can't even do it for a rep. It's just because their original reps were like cheated. I don't know. I hate using the word cheating for form, because you got to realize training form is really a thing, and training form can genuinely look disgusting and give you amazing progress. But they're different. Again, this is a great point for my protocol, what your training form should be, because I think vast majority of people shouldn't. No, basically, I don't think you should train with perfect form, but you get my justification and deep explanation on that in my protocol. So I just say you got to practice the 1 rep max more with light, fast singles and fix the technique, because I think it must be the technique. And if you're doing plates behind flicking for multiple reps, 5 reps when you could only do like 2 with chin over, could be because of that. How do you manage fatigue? Rest either 1 or rest 2 days if I have more fatigue. Do more or do less in the next workout. Eat more or eat less. Sleep more. Regulate recovery. Just generic things. Manage fatigue. I tell every workout, I can feel how fatigued I am, and just based on that I'll edit my workout intuitively and decide how much I need to rest, how I'm going to rest, maybe how I'll try and boost my recovery for a specific thing. It's just, I think managing fatigue is extremely easy because everyone knows what fatigue feels like. But it's true, not everyone knows how to change their workout based on that. You just got to change your training based on the fatigue and recovery max. I don't know. If you're really cooked, take a deload workout, do some active recovery and rest 2-3 days even. I wouldn't rest 3 days, but you can. You think about training jiu-jitsu like as a form of cardio or something else to do. I did cross country for 3 years at school. I'm sorry to my teachers who did it, and I really like them. They're great teachers in the classroom and in cross country. But I never liked running. I always hated running. I don't know how I did it for 3 years. I mean, maybe it helped with my mind, my discipline, my how formidable I am in the mentality, whatever you want to say. What's the word? I can't think of the word. But I haven't run in ages. Because I'm doing gym at the school, as I said earlier, and I don't want to be doing random exercises on terrible, or doing pull-ups on a terrible pull-up bar. I might just go on the treadmill. So I think I might restart my running journey soon. Maybe 2-3 runs a week, 2 times in the gym on the treadmill, maybe if I want on the weekend. But I don't know, I used to do cross-country and running. Jiu-jitsu and like swimming and like that kind of stuff, absolutely not, because it's going to interfere with my training a lot. Just general fatigue and specific soreness and like, but I think jiu-jitsu and stuff is great, and weighted pull-ups definitely can help with it. So no problem training weighted pull-ups. Like climbers do weighted pull-ups, like you can be and they're amazing at them too. Like I'm sure you can do jiu-jitsu and swimming and running and weighted pull-ups and be great at all of them, but it's just not something I want to do. How do you avoid tendonitis while doing such heavy pull-ups so frequently, especially with less sleep? Adaptation and time. I don't get tendon pains really anymore at all. So adaptation over time. How many sets do you do at each session? You're the best. I answered this earlier. Like it varies, like 6 to 9 sets, roughly. When I go again, things I'm saying in this video off the top of my head, but in my protocol, I record every single set of every single workout. So I have months and months and weeks and years of workouts to look over. So maybe I'll take the last 20 workouts I've done because I've recorded them all, count how many sets I've done, find the average, find the least, find the most, and explain why. So lots of in-depth stuff. But off the top of my head, like 6 to 9. What is the method you use to increase your weighted pull-up? Again, I don't like these questions because they're so like open-ended and massive, but I train intuitively, as I've said a million times. I do more lock training and variation than other people, I can say, and there are reasons why I do this, and I know how to program them, and I have specific sets I do in almost every workout, and I have specific blueprint workouts. I even have a specific program, blah blah blah. But I can't spew it all out. You gotta experiment, find what works for you, and also join Daniel Joel's protocol and also Philip's base. Get the best of both worlds when you can. But yeah, what method I use to increase my weight pull-up? There's no method. I just do so many different things. I do 100 different methods, recovery methods, there's training methods, lock methods, max rep methods, 1 rep max methods, specificity methods, adaptation methods, nutrition methods, supplement, all these methods. But if you're talking about, like, obviously I know you're talking about progressive overload method. I don't, because I train intuitively, every workout is different. There's no like method I have, but I have methods for deciding what workouts to do. I have methods to come up with the numbers in my head, basically. I have methods to do that based on my fatigue, based on how I'm feeling, based on my goals. But that's just, how am I going to tell you how I think of what I come up with in my workout? Like, you got to give me time to write this down, put it in my protocol. I can't think of this right now. My 1 rep max is 45 kilos on pull-ups, but I can barely do a muscle up. I don't think I could do a muscle up when I was at 45 kilos. Maybe I just got like a kipping muscle up. No, I think I got a kipping. I genuinely think I got my first kipping muscle up at like 40 to 50 kilos pull up, which is cooked. But yeah, what do you recommend? Training the muscle up with bands, like specific muscle up training. High pull-ups are great. Like at an advanced level, doing weighted pull-ups heavier than your 1 rep max muscle up with the muscle up grip, and grip is also great variation. But at this level, if you can't do a muscle up, high pull-ups where you're doing the swing as you would in muscle ups, and then you're just pulling high. You're not trying to transition, you're just trying to pull as low down on your body as possible. And band and muscle ups. Progressing from kipping muscle ups to just cleaning up the form every workout is what I did. But yeah, just doing more muscle ups, because pull-ups and muscle ups correlate, but if you want to really improve your muscle up in a short time, it's just specificity. Do you have a playlist you listen to when you work out? At home, you don't even want to know, because I listen to classical music. I know you're not going to listen to Rachmaninoff's First Sonata, but it's an absolute banger. And the Dies Irae climax in the third movement and the two main big climaxes in the first movement are just peak, for example, for the workout. And if I'm really trying to pull my pull-up bar out of the wall and break my personal records, Rach 3 and stuff like that, Proc 2, the big beasts, you know. But also I listen to normal music too. It's so random, I can't give you a playlist. I don't have a playlist, I just listen to random songs or classical music basically. Rest between sets, how long? 6 to 8 minutes, sometimes I rest even 10. But no less than 5. I don't care if you think your set is unimportant, you want it to be a quality set, you want it to have intent. Even if it's massive IRI, your final set, just technique, I'd still rest even 3-4 plus minutes. But main set 6 to 8, sure. At least for me, 10 even. What do you think about Ian's powerlifting method? I don't actually know his powerlifting method. I don't know what it is. But what I'm assuming is that the frequency of it is not high enough, and the intensity / volume are also both slightly too low. Because I think, although I love Ian, I think he underestimates how much you can really train. How many reps plus 60 kilos could you do when you unlocked 70? 3.5. It's either 3 reps or 4 reps you need to jump up 10 kilos, depending on your body weight and how strong you are. If you're an absolute beginner and you weigh less, to get from 10 kilos to 20, you might have to do 5 or 6 reps with 10 kilos. But for me, in my experience, it's been 3 or 4 reps, especially because I weigh 78 kilos. And right now I'm at 80, 90 kilo pull-ups. So at this level, it's 3 reps and you got 10 kilos plus. In the mid-range, 50 to 60, 40 to 70 even, it's more 3 reps, maybe 3.5 depending on your body weight. And at the lower end, if you're a beginner, it's more 5, 6. But let's say you weigh 75 kilos, how many reps? 60 kilos to... If you do 4 reps with 60 kilos at 75 kilos body weight, I'm sure you've got 70. That's all I'm going to say. 3, I don't think so. How do you not injure yourself? Your shoulder does not have any pain at all. Maybe every few workouts before I warm up, my shoulders, my left shoulder's 1 out of 10. And then it goes away when I warm up and I have no problem. That's it. Elbows, no pain. Bicep tendons, I used to have crazy bicep tendon pain. Oh my god. At the start of my journey. And crazy in elbow pain. All gone. It's just adaptation and time. You guys just haven't been doing enough pull-ups for long enough. Specific recovery things this palm stretch is great for the elbows against the wall. Maybe some pronation, maybe some wrist curls with bands. Maybe progressing the weighted dead hang is good for the shoulders and for the forearms and even elbows maybe. Specific, reverse curls, I've never done them, they might help. Oh, we're talking about shoulders though. External rotation is the go. You can do it like this or like this with bands. But yeah, one part you can strengthen the rotator cuff, and same with the elbows and whatnot. I'm not an expert on that. But the other 50% of the equation, more than 50%, is just time and adaptation to the exercise. What is even the time right now? It's almost 7 p.m. I got to play the piano, read my book, and post some more videos. I've got a lot of questions left. I'm enjoying this though, I'm not complaining. Sometimes it sounds I apologize if sometimes it sounds like I'm complaining or I'm pretentious, but I'm extremely grateful, and for what I'm doing, and I'm enjoying this very much. And I'm trying to help you guys as much as possible. So yeah. What grip tape do you use? Sport tape, zinc oxide 3.8 cm tape. Sport tape, zinc oxide 3.8 cm tape. I love it. I just bought 24 rolls of tape. It's arriving in a few days. So that's like Christmas come early. Let's go. How many sets and reps and how many sessions per week? I'm just going to skip this. Is lock dangerous? Can I do it in shoulder? Is lock dangerous? If you've never done it before, potentially. The same way one-arm pull-ups are, I'd say one-arm pull-ups are dangerous if you've never trained them before. Even with a band, I'd say they're dangerous. Lock, I'd say slightly less, but it still has risk. That's why you've got to build up to it over time, and again, adapt, especially the elbows and the bicep tendons to it. I remember I used to do locks quite a lot when I wasn't really adapted and I wasn't recovering enough, and it really cooked my bicep tendons, even more than my elbow. It was like this just like really strong ache that always lasted for like 20 minutes after I did a set. And I remember I used to arm wrestle people at school when my bicep tendons were cooked, and it was like the most horrible pain for like 20 minutes. And it was like, even when I went to bed, I could feel this dull aching still in my back. It's just because I wasn't adapted enough, and I wasn't recovering well and managing my fatigue, and less so systemic fatigue, CNS, more so like just general soreness, tendon soreness, muscle soreness. But I don't know. No exercise is dangerous if you build up to it properly. Some have a higher injury risk inevitably than others, like deadlift. But you can't say deadlifts are dangerous. That's just foolish. If you do your lower back extension, have a mass, you don't do even close to 1 rep max deadlift for weeks, you build up to it, you really rest and recover, and then you do a good technique, nice lower back 1 rep max, the chance of injury is going to be very low. And pull-ups are one of the least injurious methods. Like, serious injury on pull-ups is like 0. For beginners, like, I don't want to say chronic pain, but you know, it like lasts for many workouts, and it's like annoying in the joints, is massive. Like, if you do start training pull-ups and weighted pull-ups, you will get elbow pain, you will get some bicep tendon soreness, you will get some clicking in your shoulder or your elbow that goes away after some time, that kind of stuff. It will happen. If it doesn't, you're just extremely lucky. But after like a year, you shouldn't really be getting that anymore. I haven't had any sort of even close to an injury in like over a year. So, and I don't expect to have one anytime soon, hopefully. Can you do it? You ask, can you do it with a shoulder width pull-up? Yeah, of course. There might be even more elbow and shoulder flaring, but if you see my pull-ups, especially like chest to bar, I have crazy elbow flare, and this is fine for my shoulders and elbows just because of adaptation over time, and you can do specific things to strengthen it, but again, it's not dangerous. You just got to build up to it over time. And I'm talking like, no, you would be fine if you do locks. Like, if you do multiple sets of your 1 rep max or just under, and you lock it and you've never done it before, and then you don't rest enough and you do the same the next workout, okay, you might get some pain, but like, if if you're sensible about it, you'll be perfectly fine. And in the long run, when you're adapted to it, you can go crazy on it like me, and you'll be more than good. So yeah, you can do it in a shoulder width pull up. Shoulder width pull ups, I think the top is even harder. So yeah, it'll definitely benefit you to train it. You can see is this the brachialis or the brachioradialis, this one, that like pops out from the side? It's absolutely massive in real life. Like, it's weird. I used to think this was my tricep, but it's like this big bulge here. So pull-ups are great for that. For the actual biceps, like here, less so, but you know, terrible lighting, but this is just from pull-ups. Anyway, no one asked me about this. I don't know why I'm talking about it, but yeah, locks not dangerous. I love locks. Build up to it sensibly. You can do it with a shoulder width pull-up. You just gotta start with light weights, sub maximal sets. At the end of your workout, take really light weights. Don't even go to failure. Just really, and you can start with the mind-muscle connection, feeling everything like here, like you feel this, like, yeah. Or and you feel your chest tendons too. I promise you will. But yeah, you just gotta build up to it. This is all very surface level. Again, I've been saying you gotta build up to it. You gotta do light weights at the end of your workout. This is not really too useful for anyone. This is why I'm going to sit and think about this and put this kind of stuff after lots of thought and looking back at what I've done in my program. Like, sure, maybe what I said now was useful for this guy, but it'll be more useful in my much more useful in my protocol when I've actually sat down. I haven't read any of these questions before, I'm sorry, this is all off the whim. But if someone was to train dips, would you recommend pause reps in training and normal reps? Oh, doing both? Yeah, of course. I think pause reps, even on dips, are great for standardizing form. And you know, like if you do bench press and you bounce all the reps, for some reason it can be much harder. Like the form, it can be standardized, but it can still be much harder to progress than if you just paused every rep. Don't know whether it's more tension on the muscle, whether it's lower chance of misgroove, whether it's more time under tension. Time under tension, these kind of stuff are such buzzwords that were kind of debunked in the fitness community. But exactly, I don't know exactly what it is, but I think doing a lot of your, even, I'm not the best person to give advice on dips, but if I ever do dips, I will do them most likely most of my sets paused, and I think that's great. Yeah, you should do pause. It's also, yeah, it will reduce the chance of injury most likely and really give you control over for most people, like, I don't know whether it's harder at the ball. I think I feel like all of the dip, it has a quite good strength profile. Like there's no bit that's like glaringly more difficult, like the top of the put-up. But yeah, pause dips are great, I think. And normal reps, yeah, because if you're doing 1 rep max, you'll probably do a normal rep. So again, I'll just say yes, you should do, and you can do pause and normal rep dips. My justification was a bit weak because I haven't thought about it enough and I'm not a dips guy, but I'd say yes. Who has better insertions for pool, cats or dogs? Oh. In my mind, cats have to be stronger at that kind of stuff. Like in my mind, I can imagine a cat almost doing I can imagine a cat doing, if they get straps, because I don't think they could grip a bar with paws, but I can imagine a cat doing pull-ups. Dogs, I think the cats are mogging here, I don't know. I'm stuck in 20 kilos 4 reps, my progress very slow. It's not even a question. Well, to put you at ease, 20 kilos 4 reps, way above average. Yeah, I just got to know what your training is like, everything, all the factors, and I can't just say anything now. Like, what am I supposed to say? Add in this number of I can't say anything. Like, it's not gonna help. I need you DM me and you tell me what you're doing now, and then I'll help. What would you recommend for a 3 times frequency pull-up program? I wouldn't recommend that. I'd recommend intuitive protocol program. But 3 times a week pull-up program, you can try some hard, moderate, easy, or hard, moderate, moderate, or hard, moderate, or hard, easy, or even hard. And sets and reps, different workout, or you can do linear progression, every single workout, the same thing. But I don't really recommend that unless it's for a short burst through a plateau. Like I recommend like 2-3 workouts with my little program. But like for a long-term program, I wouldn't recommend doing the same sets and reps every single workout and trying to linearly progress every time, because that's just not going to work and it's going to completely demoralize you. There's so many reasons why that's not the best way. So I just say generally, listen, the thing is, you could be at 20 kilo pull-up, you could be at 110 kilo pull-up, this guy. Oh, okay, most likely not, but how do I know? And I don't know what his life is like. So this is why answering these kind of open-ended questions is hard, and why it's much better to provide like a protocol where I just spew out all my information, people take from it what they want, and they build their own program from it. But I just say start with hard, moderate, easy, and experiment with sets and reps. And there are lots of things you can try for programs. Calories in a day, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't have the slightest clue. I don't know. Would you like to try something else than work out? Bro, I do lots of other things than work out. I win piano competitions. You know, I'm learning Rach 3 right now, Scriabin's Fantasy, Chopin Ballade number 4, Schumann's First Piano Sonata, Scriabin Opus 42 number 5, Rachmaninoff Opus 23 number 7. I've learned Scarbo, performed it many times. All these big things. I post on social media. I've got lovely followers, great community. I love it. I'm so happy that I've created such a kind of niche, strongly knit community that's growing by the day. And all nines at GCSE, like, would you like to try something else than work out? Bro, working out is like 10% of my life at this point. Not even in time, like in effort. I mean, in time, it's obviously way less. Is that in and out of path to pull-ups intentional? I think you mean my double motion. No, I can't pull any other way. Once the weight goes above 40 kilos, there's no way I can pull in this. It's just genetically I can't. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know why people, don't even get me started on people who think like double motion is like cheating and stuff. It's just the only way a lot of people can pull, and like what? It's like everyone's form is going to be so different because of their muscle fiber types, because of their leverages, because of which muscle is stronger, because of how they've been training, all of these different, their weaknesses, all of these different factors go into form. So people's forms look very different, and you can't just judge from looking at it, you know. And this is not like I have some crazy niche form, like double motion is very common. Anyway, okay, let's move on. Can you do front even? Probably not. How much of a caloric surplus should I eat to increase weight pull-ups? Well, I love pull-ups also because your body weight matters. So if you bulk a lot, you'll gain strength and muscle, but you'll gain body fat, so it might slightly counteract that, but you still probably have you will have an overall strength gain. I mean, at least you should if you have a good program. Nutrition advice, caloric surplus, I'm afraid, again, this is another thing I can't give great advice on, but I'd say like 300 calories in the surplus, maybe 100 to 300, but that's hard to track, and it's gonna vary. I'd say eat intuitively, train intuitively, you know. I'm not a nutritionist, you gotta ask someone else for this, I'm sorry, bro. This is not me this is just because I don't know and I don't want to mislead anyone. How did you manage to develop your pull-up technique? Is there an up or downside for it? There's no up or downside for it, it's just the only way I can do it, and I developed it over time and just realizing that this is how I do pull-ups. How many rest days do you take per week? Rest days where I do no pull-up, I train 3 times a week, 3.5, maybe 4, let's just say 3, so that's just 4 rest days. But I might do active recovery on all 4, I might do active recovery on none of them. So I'd say active recovery really light is 100% rest day. Even moderately, slightly harder, active recovery still rest. It's still considered rest day, of course. So yeah, a few. I don't know what else to say. I've told you how many times I train a week. So how much do you sleep? It varies. I've been sleeping consistently like 7-8 hours this summer, which is not optimal. 7-8 hours in bed is not 7-8 hours of sleep, because you wake up so many times in the night you don't even remember. It takes time to fall asleep, especially for me. It takes like half an hour at least to fall asleep. Sleep's not great, but I think it's because my going to bed time and waking up time has been not locked in, and when I'm in school and I'm getting more tired and I have this routine that I can't deviate from, I think my sleep will improve. Yeah, so I sleep a decent amount, relatively inconsistently in terms of hours, quality, and at what time I go to sleep and wake up, but overall it's not that bad. My sleep's fine. Like it's what you'd expect from someone my age who's got lots of things going on. What is the best system to increase pull-ups? The best system depends on your goals, your genetics, and where you are at right now, your weaknesses, your strengths. There's no best system. The best system is the one you create yourself intuitively. When are you aiming to get 100 kilo pull-up? I love that my followers are oriented about my goals. Like, it's so heartwarming. I get a lot of messages, and it's just like, I love responding to all of you guys. So just message me on Instagram, because I may talk on Instagram. But December/winter holiday would be the dream, but it's very unlikely, because if I got it before my birthday, 17th, that'll be good. But I don't think it's happening. I think realistically with school and everything, and now that I'm quite advanced, my progress has to slow. I mean, it hasn't slowed really. My 70 to 87.5 was extremely fast. Fastest ever progress I've ever had, apart from 0 to 20, which is insane. But that's for another video. But February to March 2027, I'll be happy. That's great progress. If I get 90 kilos next Thursday, September, October, November, December, January, February, let's say I get it 6 months later, 6 months to go from 90 kilo pull up to 100, that's great. That's amazing. So best case December, worst case like April. Realistic February, March. Also, can we get some educational content like teaching stuff? Yes, bro. Of course, I'm gonna post more educational content. I recorded some videos yapping of me the other day. I might post them after this video, but those are really yapping. Like this video is really useful, extremely useful, and I say lots of concrete things. But those videos were lots of yapping, but you still get interesting stuff out of it. So I go watch them if they are up. I might not even have posted them, but of course I'm gonna be posting way more free informational stuff. Of course. If I create a YouTube membership, there'll be specific stuff on there, but every week I hope to make a workout vlog or a informational video on YouTube or something like that. Of course my protocol's coming out, but if we're talking specifically on, did you ask on YouTube? You said educational content, asked you, yeah, on YouTube. Yes, lots of free educational content like this is coming. If my cardio is bad and I was wondering if running and improving cardio could increase my, oh, there's not enough space for you to, I assume you mean pull-ups. It's rare, like if you do squats like 20 plus reps, cardio might be a limiting factor. And if you do max reps, bodyweight pull-ups, 30, 40 plus reps, cardio, if you have bad cardio, might be a limiting factor. But it's very unlikely that running would directly improve your pull-ups. However, running can clear your mind, can make you focus more on your workouts, can improve your health. The same way working out before studying can improve your studying indirectly. So yeah, running is one of the best, completely different sporty things that goes very well with weighted pull-ups. Is weighted pull-ups and dips all you do? Insane physique, by the way, appreciate it. Well, 90% of my training is weighted pull-ups. 5% is bench and dips, 5% is like muscle-ups, one-arm pull-ups. 90% pull-ups, so yeah. How to divide pull-ups 3 times a week to gain reps. Bro, you try everything under the sun and you find what works for you. If we're talking generally, start with hard, moderate, easy. That's a very good place to start. But right now I'm basically doing hard. So there are many different things you can do. I can't say one thing's better than others. But I'm assuming if you're at a moderate level, start with hard, moderate, easy. Wide grip or shoulder width grip for weighted pull-ups? This is the same with like double motion. You've got to find what works for you. It's the same with thumb over, thumb under. Some people for this, maybe they activate their lats better, like me. Better shoulder internal rotation, doesn't cook my thumbs. Some people find thumb under much better. They're more used to it, whatever. It's the same with, it's your leverages, your genetics, muscle insertions, which muscles are stronger, but I think even more so, your like bone lengths, your insertions, leverages, everything. Is what determines how wide you go for max strength on pull-ups. And what reps also, because like for muscle-ups, you'll be explosive almost always with a close grip. But like for 1 rep max, or for really high endurance reps, maybe wide is better. Of course, I mean, it is for most people, vast majority, but you just got to try it. What do you think about weighted cali? Is it better than street lifting? Weighted cali? Do you mean like weighted handstand push-ups? Because apart from weighted dips, weighted pull-ups, weighted muscle-ups, squats, weighted cali, weighted front lever, that's rare. Weighted handstand push-ups is also rare. Weighted pistol squats. What do you think about weighted cali? Is it better than street lifting? I think street lifting's king. Just for the average person. It's more accessible. They'll gain more muscle than calisthenics things. They can progress easier and more clearly than like progressions on like planche or something, etc. Maybe even fewer injuries. But weighted cali, what could weighted cali be that's not street lifting? Like weighted handstand push-ups, like I said. Weighted push-ups, maybe. They're all good. They're all good. Find what you enjoy. Find what gives you good progress. What you love. What you have passion for. What you seek to progress and why. Your strength goals. What you want to be able to achieve. Is it planche? Is it 100 kilo pull-up? Is it this? Is it that? One's not better than the other, but I'd say for the general person, whatever weight to cali you mean, street lifting's probably a little bit better. Do you consider frequent heavy singles an effective way for strength and weighted pull? If you check my page and you see how often I go over 80 kilos, the answer must be yes. Justification, you gotta, think about the fatigue, but you gotta think about the specificity, the really brutal strength that it can facilitate. This is again something for my protocol. I can't think of it adequate and thought out enough and in-depth justification for this currently. So, but I'd say yes. At my level and with my training, intuitive style and my goals, again, everything's different for everyone, and this is what you're going to learn from my plan. What you want to achieve, you just take what you need, what you want, and then you adapt that to your own training. It's not like this is better for some people. Like if you're a beginner, doing frequent heavy singles is terrible for your progress. So not terrible, but like it's not, if you're at like 20 pull-ups and you do your 1 rep max weighted pull-up every body, I can't see that's going to make you progress well. But in my case, it's worked amazingly. And I have to think about why. I kind of know why. Got to think about it more, put it in my protocol. How can you train heavy and hard so often without being overburnt and fatigued? Intuitive training, smart. I decide what workouts I do based on how I'm feeling and my goals. And managing fatigue and recovery with rest and recovery. Like generic stuff. Experience. Yeah, just my intuitive training landscape. Like how I run everything. Okay, I think there are like 20 questions left. This is actually taking a toll on my brain. Can you get significantly stronger without gaining any body mass? Without gaining any body mass? Add 40 kilos to 1 rep max? I'm going to say no. I mean, the best way to track that you're gaining muscle is that you're gaining strength on exercises. Like progressive overload for bodybuilders is a key thing. Now you're saying, can you add 40 kilos to your 1 rep max without gaining any body mass? No, whoa. You can't like adapt your CNS, however unadapted you are to an exercise, and gain 40 kilos like that. You won't believe it, my phone died. I have like a charger attached on a platform to my phone now. I had the biggest heart attack. I thought the video deleted because it wasn't there, but it was just loading because it was so long, 1 hour, 55 minutes so far. So basically, I'm going to say 0.00001% chance you'll add 40 kilos to your 1 rep max without gaining any body mass. That's just absolutely ridiculous. Is there any way to build the ability to grind last reps on pull-ups? Genetics plus trained a lot, basically. I'm trying to quick fire some of these. I need to be more concise, Relative strength or absolute strength? It depends what sport. But I always think relative strength is cool. For pull-ups, both equally. But like, for like bench press, I think relative strength is like, nah, I don't know. I can't answer. Both are good. Both are cool. Both are important. How do you juggle between studying and training? I think I talked about this earlier with the guy who asked about tough university schedule. It's just getting into a routine, knowing what you have to do when, doing things early, not procrastinating. It's getting into the routine of things, doing it over and over and over until you find out how to be more efficient and what works best. And try and find a way where they complement each other, where you train before you're studying, your mind is clear, that kind of stuff. It really depends on your own schedule, but again, lots of experimentation. You do this first, that first, what works better. But once you get into a routine of things and you're used to doing things and you've done them many times, life's great. Do you train abs? No. And or accessories? Occasional strict curl for fun. I guess muscle ups and one pull-ups at this point, and dips are accessory for my pull-ups, but very rarely. Sometimes really explosive rows, as I mentioned earlier, but really rarely. The most common thing would probably be strict curl, and I do that once every like 2 weeks max, just for fun. So no, I don't really do accessories. Can street lifting be superior to powerlifting? Yes. Can powerlifting be superior to street lifting? Yes. Do I think street lifting is better than powerlifting for most people? Yeah. Because deadlifts and squats are like so much more CNS fatiguing. And also, we're talking about the average person. You're going to get a better physique from street lifting likely. maybe fewer injuries. Maybe people are more impressed by it. You can start doing muscle ups. I don't know. It depends what your goals are really. So what does superior mean to you? You gain more muscle, you get fewer injuries. You can do body weight skills or you can't. It depends what's superior. In my opinion, street lifting is superior to powerlifting. Just because like it's what I do. I enjoy it. I enjoy it much more. But this is absolutely not an objective thing. Like powerlifting's great. If I wasn't great at pull-ups, you know, at perfect deadlift leverages, whatever, I might say the opposite. I don't know. I love you, bro. Appreciate it, bro. Love you too. Who motivates you and why? Okay, I'll give a generic answer first. Philip Workout, Ludo Anabantium, Dima Pools. David Goggins, I've read both of his books years ago. He's like one of my all-time motivations, you know. Again, that's the cliche out of the way. What else motivates me? My future self, what I can become, how far I can go in all aspects of life. It's really my future self. I'm always obsessed with what I'm going to be. I live in the present to kind of ameliorate the future. You know what I mean? But size in inches, bro. I have no clue. No one asking you anything. Oh, that's my friend. Appreciate it, bro. Does a shaky pull-up bar affect strength? Yes. I did experiment basically another previous day. For me, at least, thin bar with shaky rack is stronger than thick bar on stable setup. I think shaking is not that deep. Like, it sounded like gunshots were going off. It was shaking so much, but it didn't affect my strength too much. But it's definitely not optimal. If the three big things about pull-ups that matter is the height of the bar, how stable it is, and the thickness. If you're used to training on a low bar like me, it doesn't matter. You get the same strength gain whether you have to bend your knees or not. But if you're completely used only to putting on a high bar, then it can be terrible, it can be the worst. But I'm saying, for me, if you're used to training like at home as I do on my low bar, it's not a problem. I get the same strength gain, it transfers perfectly to high pull-ups. High pull-ups as in on a high bar. But I'd say the thickness of the bar is very important. It's very important how you can transfer power into the bar. If your grip slips, it's cooked. How much it shakes, honestly, you think it's transferring the energy into the rack and out like it does, but in my experience at least, it's not crazy important. And also depends on how shaky. If it's slightly shaky, don't even worry. If it's like that, you might want to switch setup. But again, it's kind of about consistency. It's like with form. If you do the same thing every time, you're gonna progress basically the same either way, even if your setup is. So I wouldn't worry about getting an optimal setup. I'll get my best progress at home on this low bar with thick plates. It's not that deep. It really doesn't matter. Don't try and optimize everything like that. How do you actually train whatever you feel like? Have zero plan and make insane progress. I got using my experience and what I've learned, I've created my intuitive protocol. You got to check the Daniel and Jules protocol for that. I mean, like, okay, let me read it again. How do you actually train whatever you feel like? I don't have zero plan. I mean, I have some goal sets. Sometimes I always have an idea of what I'm gonna do. I always know exactly how I feel and what that means I should be doing. But yeah, again, I just experimented like crazy. I've tried everything under the sun, and now I've just found the intuitive plan that works for me. And I think even though training is very individual, so many things that can be learned from my training are widely applicable to basically everyone who trains. So you have that to look forward to in the Discord server and the protocol. 6 more questions. No, I'm almost done. How many hours do you sleep daily? I answered this earlier. How to make rest days go by fast. To occupy yourself. You gotta occupy yourself. Play the piano, read a book, go outside, hang out with your friends, whatever. Just make the day go by. Focus on other things. I mean, I sometimes daydream about my sets, watch my previous sets on my phone, but that kind of makes it go by slower, so don't do that. Do you have a certain amount of set and reps of weighted pull-ups you want to hit each week? No, but I'd say it's kind of a subconscious thing. Roughly every week I hit the same number and intensity, roughly. Yeah, in my style of training, it's not like I have easy weeks and hard weeks and I'm always building up to something. It's like at the end of the week or at the end of the month, the sets and reps and intensity will be quite similar, but I don't have any kind of number or something I'm trying to hit in my head. When are you going to hit 90 kilos? You do only one movement. Next Thursday, I hope. I really hope I get it next Thursday. I got to do like my mini peak for this, but can't guarantee anything, but I'll do my best for you guys. You do only one movement. Okay, bro. Can you play organ as well? No. My best friend plays the piano and the organ, but I don't. Final question. This is the most recent one. This person was the last person to ask a question. Don't forget to prepare your tendons for unexpected and inevitable injuries by experience. I'd say my bicep tendons and like my elbows and everything are extremely prepared. Just from adaptation, specificity and time, specific exercises, proper recovery, proper nutrition, everything. I feel like everything I've been doing has led to me being very fortified, and for pull-ups, hard training and pull-ups to be extremely safe and reliable for me. So I'm gonna be a bit pretentious and say I'm not gonna get even close to badly injured ever from pull-ups, but I could be proven wrong, and I'm perfectly happy to learn from that experience if it comes. So, that's that, guys. That was significantly over. Okay, not significantly over. It was like 2 hours and 10 minutes, I think, or something like that. I don't know how much I'll edit this video, probably barely, because I want to post it today ideally. It will be posting during the night for sure, because it's a long video. But I haven't thought of kind of an outro, but I got to say something. If you're still here and you watch even remotely close to all of this video, you're actually dedicated, and I got to respect it, because, you know, you kind of sift out the people who are dedicated by how much time they spend on research, how much time they, for example, spend on watching this, and then the next layer for that is like spending money on something like, you know, the Daniel Jules protocol that's going to come. But I'd say if you watch like more than like 20-30 minutes of this video, that's extremely impressive, because I'd be bored out of my mind. But of course, I love pull-ups. I'd watch, if Philip Workout made a 5-minute video yapping, I'd watch all of it. So like, it's just about how committed you are, you know. But yeah, share this video, drop a like. Let's keep on building our community so I can keep on doing more things like this, and, you know, we can spread the love of pull-ups to other people. Just comment anything, any of your thoughts on any of my answers, and even more, not more importantly, but importantly, what you think about what I should be doing with my protocol, what would be most useful for you, what you want to learn exactly, that kind of stuff, what I mentioned earlier in the video. But yeah, hopefully next week, max like 2-3 weeks, you have the Daniel Jules protocol and the amazing community to look forward to. It's been my pleasure to make this video. Yeah, just, I don't know, engage with the video, comment. I love reading your comments. I'll reply to everything. So just spam my comments and tell me what you want to see next on my YouTube channel and in my protocol. So yeah, guys, enjoy your training, experiment, find the best ways to progress, find your passion, your purpose, everything, and look forward to my protocol. I don't know what else I can say. That was a pretty poor outro from me. I feel like it just reduced the quality of the whole video, but it is what it is. I'm gonna go play the piano now. See you guys next time.